All right, we're off to the Caribbean today, Tom. Now, we've been there twice before, haven't we?
Port Royal and Cuba School of Arts.
School of the Arts.
Yes, great episodes. Check them out.
I love the School of the Arts ones. And the Port Royal one has pirates. Who doesn't love pirates?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so this time we're going to a much smaller and lesser-known island, the British Overseas Territory of Montserrat. Now, this might be one of the most spectacular places we've ever featured on the podcast. So I urge you to look at the video footage when it appears shortly. And it's not just visually amazing. The story is also incredibly dramatic. We're talking about an entire city being destroyed in barely an instant.
An instant?
Well, a bit longer than an instant, but, pretty quickly.
Okay.
This is Where Did Everyone Go? With me, Dr. Sasha Auerbach.
And me, Tom Ward. A journey into the weird history of abandoned places. All right, so from the footage, which is now playing, the first thing you notice is how lush and green this island is. Its hills and mountains are covered with thick forests.
Yeah, and there's loads of houses nestled in the hills here, incredible views across the ocean, but they're all hollow structures, right? They're missing doors, windows, some of them are even missing their roofs.
You can see swimming pools, grand interiors. Some of these houses were surely for the rich and famous, but are now completely ruined.
Yeah. And then as the hills flatten out, as we get nearer the coast, this vast ghost town comes into view. Hundreds of abandoned buildings. You got hotels, government offices, shopping malls.
And everything is half buried. A lot of the structures, you can only see the upper floors.
Yeah, it feels like the buildings were left in a rush, too. There's crockery on the tables, videotapes left on the floor, which also dates the event somewhat, and important documents left on desks.
Yep, and the huge boulders, the size of cars, strewn about the place as well.
Yeah, and towering over everything, this giant mountain peak shrouded in mist.
Okay then, Sasha. You are right. This is one of the most spectacular places we've been to. So what happened and where did everyone go?
Where indeed? Well, let's start with a bit of background on the island of Montserrat. It's part of the Leeward Islands chain. It's a verdant, green tropical island 10 miles long and about 7 miles wide. The Montserrat oriole, gallowasps, which are actually lizards, and mountain chickens, these are edible frogs found in the highlands. These are among the island's notable animal species.
All frogs are technically edible.
Except the poisonous ones.
Oh, right, okay. Well, they're edible as well.
The poison dart frogs.
It's just ill-advised.
It's just ill-advised.
These ones are delicious.
Yes.
These ones.
I guess I'm not a big frog eater myself.
I've never tried.
I know people like it. In 1979, the Beatles producer George Martin opened AIR Studios Montserrat, making the island popular with musicians who often went there to record while taking advantage of the island's climate and these beautiful surroundings.
Nice. I wonder if that affected the music. It's hard to feel kind of messed up when you're surrounded by the tropics, isn't it?
Is this what great music requires? Is inner turmoil?
Well, I mean, a lot of great stuff comes from turmoil, but if you're surrounded by beauty, you wonder if these musicians would arrive as troubadours and leave as kind of reggae.
But surely there were some bands that produced nice music that are good music. I mean, the Beach Boys didn't seem particularly tormented.
Yeah, they did.
They were. Oh, okay.
You heard Pet Sounds?
What about the Eagles?
Smile. The Eagles have no emotion.
What about
corporate rock?
What about ABBA?
ABBA, yeah. I don't go to ABBA for anything.
Well, that new weird holographic ABBA show is one of the biggest shows in London now, right?
It says it all about humanity.
The ABBA experience.
It's the first sign of the end times, isn't it? A holographic ABBA show. Isn't that in the Bible?
Do you think if this podcast gets big enough, they'll do the holographic live version?
When we're dead?
Yeah.
Or when we're still alive?
See them when they're young. It's like, this was recorded 2 years ago.
Or we get so big we can't actually do the tour. It's too big. So we have to send holograms ahead.
Send our little holographic avatars.
We're sorry, Idaho. We couldn't make it, but we have sent holograms. Poor guy has to come and set it all up.
When my first wife and I got a Wii, remember the Wii and the Nintendo Wii, and you had to make a little avatar. We made each other's avatars, and I made this really nice one of her with this little bangs and everything, and a little jogging suit. And she made one of me, which is all freckles, glasses, and then the mouth is wide open. I was like, "What's this about?" And she's like, "Well, it never closes." So
wow.
tough. That was tough.
The signs were there.
The signs were there. All right, back to Montserrat. You can't talk about Montserrat without talking about its dominating natural feature, the Soufriere Hills volcano.
And I suspect that this is the baddie in our story.
Well, it's nature. It's neither good nor evil, but it's important, yeah. Okay. So, in 1995, after laying dormant for over 300 years, it rumbled into life. The very earliest parts of the eruption were what's called a freatomagnetic eruption. This is when magma meets groundwater and turns it into steam, and the force of this steam breaks open rocks and makes big thunderclap noises. Mm-hmm. So you have to imagine that pressure building up underneath the ground as the lava and the groundwater interact, and it's bursting up. Okay, so what did the locals think? Well, they hear these grungy eruptions, and they assume that it's U.S. fighter jets passing through, but the noise doesn't go away, and that's when people start to realize it was coming from the hills. And then finally, a few bits of black ash start to fall, and it's then that everyone knows that there is a volcanic event in progress.
This is a bad sign.
It's a bad sign.
Okay.
So as this material starts to rise, a massive dome on top of the existing volcano crater was created from all this material being forced upwards. It was being extruded, which is the term, at the rate of 2 shipping containers worth per second.
Okay.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff. I mean, you think about that much, I wonder if you could see it like visibly growing.
I just want to know who was measuring that.
Yeah, it's like,
there a
it's
guy?
another shipping container.
Hang on, give me a minute.
Now, another part of this early eruption was the creation of a vast amount of ash. And here's a local resident, Norman, to tell us more.
The plume started getting bigger and bigger and covering the area. And then afterwards I decided, look, I want to capture this on film, but my camera was home at Richmond Hill. So I jumped in the car, started driving to Richmond Hill, and then the ash started falling. And I was in the car, you could put your hand in front of your face and you couldn't see your hand. It was that dark. It was so dark that it was disorienting. In a sense, it was almost like when I was flying in cloud, you didn't get a sense of where up was and down was. It was so disorienting.
Yeah, that's a really bizarre experience. The fact that he went back to get his camera kind of dates it as well, doesn't it? Because iPhone users won't know anything of this. They'll be like,
have you got a charger?
What do you mean you had to go get your camera?
I have my camera. Have you got a charger for an iPhone 13? I want to do a selfie with that volcano.
So wait, you have one of these old school phones. Like, how do you don't take pictures with it? Do you
I
just
do,
not take,
but they're very grainy.
Oh,
yeah,
like kind of daguerreotype.
Everything looks like a volcanic eruption is occurring in the background. It's constant mist and
So your Instagram's pretty monochrome then, I imagine.
Yeah. It looks like it was shot
done on like one of
noughties.
those old handheld Nintendo Game Boys or whatever.
I just don't take pictures really. Or if someone else takes pictures, I'll have them.
But if you're not documenting every moment of your life, how do you know that it happened?
I just have to trust that I'm in the moment and that's worth it, I guess.
That's very Buddhist of you.
Yeah,
I respect that. Okay, so there's no major disaster at this point. As far as volcanic eruptions go, this is still relatively tame. And it's funny when you think about it, how many people, even today, live in fairly close proximity to semi-active volcanoes. And I'm thinking like Mount Etna on Sicily, which I see pictures because I have a mate of a mate whose family lives there. And they're like driving through a toll booth and you can see lava coming down Mount Etna in way in the background. Yeah, I mean, you just don't build stuff right next to it. Scientists fly in from all over the world to figure out what the Montserrat volcano is going to do next. Keep in mind, this has been dormant for several hundred years, so this is a big event. A month after the first eruption, the volcanic activity increases, and the capital city of Plymouth was right in the line of fire. So the residents were evacuated to the north of the island. The volcano continues to rumble, and for a while, Montserrat just kind of gets used to this as the new normal. But soon things take a dangerous turn.
Oh.
Yeah, the volcano wasn't done. In fact, it was only just beginning.
This feels like an ad break is brewing. Coming up. Well, I told you about the rumbling sound of the volcano. Yeah, you did. What happened next? Well, things took a turn for the worse.
Right, now you're going to do my lines too? Thanks, man.
That's just the coming up section.
I'm just going to sit here with the freckles, I suppose.
And your big mouth.
And my giant open mouth all the time. Now, up to this point, the capital, Plymouth, had been covered in a thick layer of ash, but scientists were worried that worse was yet to come. And here's volcanologist Rod. Is that really his name?
His actual name's Rod Stewart.
Really? No.
Yeah. Nice.
Volcanologist Rod Stewart.
Roderick.
Rod Stewart. Yeah.
Why wouldn't they? All right, here's volcanologist Rod Stewart, who was stationed at Montserrat, recording at AAR Studios, to explain more.
All the volcanoes in the Eastern Caribbean are like this, but it's very different from the volcanoes maybe people are used to seeing on television. The lava that comes out of this volcano is incredibly viscous, very sticky, and it's so viscous that it cannot form a lava flow. So it just comes out and it stays at the top of the volcano, and it builds what we call a lava dome. And this actually gets bigger and bigger, and it sort of grows from the inside. And what happens then is that the outside gets steeper and steeper, and at some stage it will have a collapse. That can also be triggered by heavy rainfall or various other things, but it will collapse. And then it will sort of uncover the hot material inside the dome, which has a liability to explode.
Well, that it's delivered in that lovely Scottish accent somehow is more comforting.
It was gentle Scottish, wasn't it?
It's liable to explode.
It's going to explode everywhere. You want to get out of town if that's happening.
You want to go get in the wife.
Just walk 500 miles and don't look back.
And I will walk. Wait, that's Irish though, isn't it?
No.
Is it Scottish?
Scottish.
I will walk 500 miles. Yeah, it's a great song.
Great song.
Anyway, on June 25th, 1997, as Rod Stewart has explained, the inevitable lava dome collapse happens, and with it, a gigantic explosion. And here, once again, is Rod Stewart to explain what happened next.
So then what you've got is a lot of really hot, fine material, and it travels down the side of the volcano in what we call a pyroclastic flow, which is an avalanche of pulverized lava and ash and gas. And because it's hot and it's got gas trapped into it, it's basically lubricated. And so it can travel at speeds of hundreds of miles an hour down the side of this volcano. It is spectacular to watch and impossible to get out of the way of. And I've seen examples when a pyroclastic flow has gone from the top of the volcano to Plymouth in 2 minutes. And that's a distance of 5 kilometers, 3.5 miles sort of thing. So they travel very, very fast, and they basically just smash everything in their way. It's an avalanche, it pulverizes things, it burns them, and it asphyxiates them because the gas replaces the air. So they are incredibly spectacular to watch and very, very dangerous.
I'm praying and hoping that the population had been evacuated. I mean, they said earlier that they had been, right? But you just...
This story seems to be agitating you a bit.
You just worry that there's those people that stay. Do you know what I mean?
You have families like, I'm not afraid of no pyroclastic flow.
You never know. There's always someone who's like, doesn't want to leave, right?
Yeah.
So you're just hoping that everyone's gone when you hear this.
They're sitting there on their rooftop with their 3D goggles.
Just sitting on their rocking chair as the lava comes through.
I've lived here for 75 years and
I ain't moving
driven
for
out
no
by
one.
no volcano. Yes.
I've seen so much shit down here.
Now, what was worse is that many of the valleys are already full of ash. So the pyroclastic flows just power down the volcano's flanks, and there's no way to divert them or stop them. There's not slowing them. They just go straight down. Norman was the manager of the island's airport at the time, and we have the real honor of hearing this incredible and rather heartbreaking tale from the day of. But first, a quick ad break. So, here's Norman, the airport manager, on that fateful day when the lava dome collapses, and he's going to tell us what he experienced.
We were watching the flows now, starting to get larger and larger, and we were really getting concerned. But we continued to work, and interestingly, just around midday, the governor at the time, Governor Savage, he came in, and as soon as he came off the aircraft, which was a charter with a Patanavia, which is a small twin-engine aircraft. As soon as he came off the aircraft, came to the VIP lounge, as soon as his foot was coming outside of the VIP lounge, the scientists sounded the siren for evacuating the airport. Because the activity had ramped up to a level that the scientists felt that we should evacuate the airport. And with the siren going off, I ran down from the control tower, ran right all the way down onto the apron and just waved my arms to the pilot to tell him, go, go, go. He didn't even put on his headset. So we evacuated everyone. I had to be the last, of course, because at the time I was acting airport manager. So the only ones who were left back was some police officers, because there was a police station at the base of the control tower. And they were removing weapons. I said, look guys, forget the weapons, we gotta get out of here. And so we left, starting to drive out on this emergency road which took you away from the path of the any material that would be coming down. But I said, as being the last coming out, by the time I was actually driving out, at one point it looked like the flows were actually rolling over those hills. You could actually see the plume of ash. And I can tell you, I was flooring. My foot was right down. And I had a chief security officer with me, and he was saying, Mr. Cassie, you're gonna damage your car. I said, car? I'm not thinking about a car right now. And because it was a rough cut road, all the boulders were hitting at the bottom, boom, 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 boom. But and at that time too, we were seeing these big bursts of fire where some of the houses were. And you know, all of this is just coming together. There's a plume almost looking like it's gonna roll over the hill. The flows had actually gone in the river, almost getting into the sea at the end of the runway. And so we were trying to get out. And then we actually got onto the main road, and when I look back into the rearview mirror, again, you're seeing these big bursts of flames. And we sped up the hill, reached a way that we thought we were safe enough. And I tried to get out, but my legs wouldn't cooperate. I was just shaking, my legs were just dancing. I couldn't get out of the vehicle. So I had to sit there for about a minute or two to get myself together. And then I came out. Then the sad thing dawned on us, that it was just after midday. And what used to happen back then, a lot of the staff who lived in the vicinity at lunch break, they would go back home. And we realized there were several persons who had done that, and they were missing. So we stood on the hill, and we spent hours waiting there, and the sun was going down, and you're just waiting because you're hoping that someone will get out. And then as it got later towards evening, an elderly lady, she walked all through those hills and came, and she met us down below here, and she said, you know, I'm the only one who made it.
It's unreal.
Yeah, and and this is the thing about natural disasters, right? Is we say to ourselves, well, you know, why didn't people just leave? And we were joking about it, but the truth is that a lot of people living on this island are just going to be ordinary working class folks, and they might not have the resources to get out.
Where do you go?
Yeah, this is the only home they know. This is where all their stuff is. They might not have family elsewhere. You know, it's not like they're the musicians and stuff who can just like hop on a plane, or the tourists. So yeah.
Wow.
Or they're keeping vital services like the airport running.
Yeah. Or the police or the firemen, you know, people working in the hospital. So over the next 4 months, the volcano exploded 75 times, burying Plymouth in layer upon layer of volcanic ash. The pyroclastic flows actually reached the sea, boiled the water, and then sank to the bottom, eventually cooling and actually extending the coastline of the island. Many of the buildings were set alight by kind of superheated ash avalanches. The structures that avoided being buried in ash or burned were instead covered in mud from these immensely powerful mud flows that happened, or lahars is the technical term. The center of Plymouth is still completely buried, and other parts you can only see the roofs of buildings or the spires of churches.
This is nature at its most terrifying, isn't it? Like it's almost like furious.
You know, it's kind of a toss-up. What's the worst natural disaster in terms of actual destructiveness and death? Floods and tsunamis are the worst, right?
Yeah.
Because they hit, low-lying coastal regions and just they take everything, and that's why that tsunami in Indonesia was so devastating recently. So tsunamis are the worst. Floods are probably the second worst. Volcanoes also terrible, but tend to be a bit more localized.
Do they start tsunamis, volcanoes?
They can if they happen underwater. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. In fact, that's a common trigger. A common trigger for tsunamis is actually underwater earthquakes.
Right.
Because they displace so much water as they happen that then. But yeah, you can have it triggered by underwater volcanoes as well.
So you have molten lava underwater.
Yeah. It's hot enough. Yeah.
And that would have presumably kill a lot of the marine life.
Yeah, but the thing about volcanoes is they are still relatively localized phenomena, and they'll cause immense destruction over a relatively small area. Whereas, floods, you can cover a whole coastline in flood, and a tsunami can, reach a mile or two inland and just take everything with it.
Yeah. Norman's story is absolutely incredible, isn't it? It's like so descriptive. The way he has to sit in the car with his legs shaking and he's just taking it all in.
But that scene of him driving away, it's like a Michael Bay movie except good, and like the lava exploding behind him.
You can hear the engine grinding of gears and the smashing of rocks on the bottom of the car, and the old lady emerging. I was the only one that got out.
I was the only one who made it.
Yeah.
Smart old lady.
Yeah.
Lucky old lady.
Yeah.
All right.
So what happened to the people of Montserrat? What happened next?
Well, 19 people were killed in the 97 eruption, and about 7,000 people, or 2/3 of the population, left Montserrat, 4,000 going to the United Kingdom. The southern 2/3 of the island, including the capital, became an uninhabited exclusion zone. And for good reason, as other eruptions have occurred since.
Right.
In 2003, there was another huge pyroclastic flow that surged into the sea and actually generated a tsunami. Other eruptions occurred in 2006 and again in 2010. But where there's danger and destruction, of course, there's a story to be told. And our craven producer, Lewis, dares to venture because otherwise he loses his job.
You went here?
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. But one of the best memories is Norman. He is Mr. Montserrat.
Yeah.
And when we arrived there, he took us out in the car, and everyone would beep him when they saw him driving through the island, and he'd wave, and just everyone knew him. He knew everyone else. He was an absolute joy to be with. I actually had to get a Montserrat driving license myself.
Did you?
I still have that to this day. So if I go back, I can drive it.
How long did that take to get?
Otherwise.
Did you have to do like lessons and a test
no.
over a 3-month period?
No, I think they just thought he's British. That's fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
He'll work it out. He'll
He can't be any
use
worse
bluff,
driver
if anything.
than everyone else on the island.
And we had to have a police escort to go into this exclusion zone because
Because of Norman's fans?
No. Because the volcano, if it erupted, they need to know who's there to get them out quickly because it's still active.
Wow.
And you look up from this buried town and you see the mist of the volcano, and it's a very surreal experience.
Were you scared?
Not really, because I thought
He was terrified. Don't let him have
I
you.
don't know. I've got nothing to relate it to. I haven't. It's an abstract thing, isn't it? A volcano.
Yeah.
So I didn't really think about it. I was like, that's just a big mountain.
And this is how people die.
I know,
How
yeah.
fast can it move? It's a mountain.
Yeah.
Now, I have to ask, did you meet Governor Savage, and did he live up to his name?
No.
Oh.
But I did go to the abandoned house of the guy who sang "Feeling Hot, Hot, Hot."
Oh, really?
Oh.
He was a Montserratian.
Uh-huh.
I think that's the right word for it.
Ole,
And you
ole.
and you can see like a guitar-shaped like sculpture in his house and like carpets on the walls and.
So that was the house that he evacuated.
Yeah, yeah.
So wait, is that song about the volcano eruption?
I don't think so. I think it's just.
That would be a funny coincidence.
Oh, that was his response to the.
Are you
That was
feeling
his,
hot,
his
I'm feeling
heartfelt
hot.
tribute to the people of Montserrat.
It's a bit cold.
That's a ballad if you're from over there.
Yeah.
They just can't do anything that isn't sounding like fun and upbeat.
But yeah, so they've now got this new capital city in the north. But yeah.
Yeah, I see that in 22, the work started on a new capital city and a port in the northwest coast of the island, so away from the danger zone. And according to Rod Stewart, the volcanologist, not the musician,
if you think I'm sexy.
there's still some mysteries about this volcano. The main one being why it's remained active for so long, and of course, everyone's wondering what it'll do next.
I think it sounds like more trouble than it's worth. Why don't they just block it?
Block it,
Because it sounds like
with a giant cork.
Yeah. Isn't it? It just seems like a bit of a liability. This thing, isn't it? Time just to put it to rest.
Yeah, just to give it a stern talking to. That'd be the British way. Look here, you.
And if it does erupt, the cork has to fly out.
We really
and
don't
the
appreciate.
Hindus can be like, woo!
Ooh, I love him. Look, I'm wearing a mask of the volcano on my face.
This is, I mean, living in a town with an active volcano is, that's going to have a presence in your life, isn't it? It's like living in a community where you know there's a serial killer, but he's just been let out of prison.
Well, again, there's
going to be a vibe, isn't there?
It's just most. I mean, there are a significant number of people who live near dormant volcanoes, and the thing is, it's kind of unpredictable about when they're going to go off, and this is why you hear about these things happening in Italy. Is I think the place that I'm most familiar with, because it's very mountainous. And yeah, it happens, and you get towns that are just completely wiped out by these mudslides. It's pretty awful. But at the same time, boy, why would people live close to this? Well, this process, just like flooding, deposits a lot of minerals in the earth. Like, it can create extremely fertile soil, so it's very attractive.
When there's an event, and I can see why people attribute it to God's fury, because that would feel like anger to me. If you're, when something happens, Christians or other religious people attribute it to God's wrath. And a volcano erupting and destroying a town, you can imagine people saying, "Oh, it's because there was a gay couple."
Yeah, well, actually, Jews just assume God is angry all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just always angry. Ready to lay down some fire.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just nature. It's just tectonics.
Well, it's an incredible scene, isn't it? The buried buildings.
Or potentially Ming the Merciless.
Who? What?
Ming the Merciless. He's the villain from the Flash Gordon things. There's a great. Oh, come on! See, it's got a Queen soundtrack. You would love this movie. It is so retro and throwback.
Sounds
and
camp.
It starts with Ming the Merciless, played by the inestimable Max von Sydow,
should we have
visiting natural disasters on the Earth.
I think it's time for lunch.
Can't get him interested.
I mean, sci-fi cartoons.
I guess that's a place to end.
Is this one of those where they wear costumes and meet up every year to reenact the scenes?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Let's do lunch.
All right, so let's read some comments.
Let's do it.
What you got for us?
Suna612 has said, I grew up, this is about Tulsa's creepy televangelist headquarters, Abundant Life Building. I grew up near Tulsa during this time. There were bumper stickers made that said, "Send oral to heaven" in 87. Nice. Unfortunately, that man scammed my grandmother out of some money in the late 70s, so he's never been someone I've cared for. Also, I just always thought it was funny that a man named Oral would name his son Richard.
Think about it. Now that one I get.
That is a phenomenal comment.
That is a great comment.
That has everything you want. It has it has context. It has personal history. It has extra information and humor.
Lewis, I think we should send the full "Where Did Everyone Go" gift basket to
Suna612
with the tote and the mug and the thermos
awards
and the
That's a phenomenal
and the
comment.
thumb drive, like the whole kit and caboodle.
And it says here, "See less," and I'm like, no, I don't want to see less.
I'd like to see
I want
more.
more from you, Suna612.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, I have one which is more of a question, which we can't answer, unfortunately, but it is a good question, and this is on New Orleans' Forgotten Home of Jazz, South Rampart Street story. And this is from Marjo, who wants us to tell the story of where the red in Red Light District comes from.
And we don't know the answer.
I don't know the answer.
It's got to be something to do with the color of the bulb, hasn't it?
Which bulb?
on the red light district.
Yeah, but that's sort of circular, isn't it? Like
No, but there was a bulb the first time. There was a district where there was...
Yeah, but prostitution is the world's
Prostitute.
oldest profession.
Well, in Bible
so
times.
It
Pre-Bible times.
Precludes light bulbs, though.
Or the red candle.
The red candle.
There was a red candle that was glowing when the first ever sex worker was doing her thing.
However, red candles do produce yellow light, so why wouldn't it be just the yellow light district?
Right.
There's an interesting theory from it's saying it's a widespread folk etymology. It claims that early railroad workers took red lanterns with them when they visited brothels, so their crew could find them in the event of an emergency.
Chad, get your trousers back on. We gotta go. They're called pants. I'm coming.
Don't forget your red lantern. That's how I found you.
Wow. Okay. There we go.
Yeah, apparently, Dodge City, Kansas, mid-19th century railroad workers, other sources are saying. Early railroaders.
I'm very comforted that early railroad workers took their clandestine sexual activities less seriously than their real jobs. If only modern politicians had the same priorities.
So we have San Francisco's Sutro Baths, the giant swimming pool,
Yeah.
and the dynamite explosion on the ship.
Yep.
Blew out the
world's
windows.
worst security guard.
And the kid that set the fire and destroyed it.
Yeah, yeah.
Liza says, "This is one of my favorite podcasts. I wonder when you might do live shows." Come on. The arena tour.
P-trips, the people are speaking. People are demanding
This
a
is
live
amazing.
show.
We've had one demand for a live show.
That's
This is the
enough.
beginning. I'd
The
love
first
to meet
seed has
you
been
both.
planted.
I bet you would, as you have been such an uplifting and informative part of my day. That is awesome.
Oh, she doesn't realize that we're AI.
Yeah.
She thinks we're real people.
And we think she's real.
Oh, we're
The whole thing's a lie.
I know.
That's wonderful, Liza. Thank you very much. And
Yeah.
we'd love to meet you too.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, please
At our
spread the word.
upcoming live tour.
We're playing Wembley on the 20th of June,
And Madison Square Garden.
2048. So
2048.
you've got 23 years to buy your tickets, but
Well, that's
get in early.
It's going to be the ABBA hologram. We're going to replace the ABBA experience. and people will be asking, where did everyone go? We
Yeah.
used to have an audience, and now it's an empty
I think
arena.
you should choose one of the abandoned locations in America that we've featured in the pod. That would
I think
be
we should go to Zaire, actually,
Zaire,
and do it
U.S.,
where,
Zaire,
no,
Kansas.
Zaire in Africa.
Oh, the Palace.
Yeah.
Where the Rumble in the Jungle
Yeah,
took
do it
place.
there.
Yeah. I know. I want to do the raceway in America, the old Mid-Georgia Raceway.
Oh, that's nice.
The bootlegger's place, bootlegger's
some
paradise.
moonshine.
Or actually, I think one from more recent podcasts. I think the Brooklyn Terminal. That would be fun.
Oh yeah.
It's
we
New
could
York.
Dress up as Elvis.
Take you to a speakeasy.
Or the one where was it with the pirates, the women pirates who open their shirts?
Oh, Port
that's
Royal.
got everyone talking.
Port Royal. Yes, an underwater live episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm up for it. Spread the word, Liza.
Yes.
Tell your friends.
All right. That's it for comments.
Producer Lewis here. Thanks for listening to this episode of Where Did Everyone Go? New episodes every Wednesday. Follow, comment, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out.